Hello, this is Heavy Thrasher of Nasty Metal Productions channel at YouTube. It's episode 4 of The Revisiting! Alright. So, what album I revisited? Well, you already see the title. This band does not need no introduction. I don't need to tell any backstories behind their history. You know them. Black Sabbath 13. Yes, I revisited this. Released in, released in 2013. Kind of think it's kind of crazy is album's called 13. It's their 13th studio album with pretty much 13th studio album. I guess that really does count some of the others as well with Ozzy's, but their 13th studio album released in 2013, and it's the album called 13. So it's kind of funny, but anyway, I had to kind of give it a re-listen. Well, at first, I didn't as much, it wasn't bad, but I just could never fully adjust to it for some reason. Even the second disc, while I thought was better than the first disc, I don't know, I just then avoided from listening to it for some reason. Even though I thought it wasn't bad, I just kept avoiding it. Well, recently I decided to, you know what, let me give it another listen. Because of, I decided to listen to a song off of it before, because just for the hell of it, the song Peace of Mind off the second disc. It was starting to adjust to me, so I decided, you know what, I'll listen to the whole fucking thing. I listened to both the first disc and second disc, and I think this album has to literally grow. It's a grower. I think the minute that, when you get past such songs such as End of the Beginning and God is Dead, when you get past those two, the album actually gets better, and it starts off with such as the song Loner. What a fucking song that is. To me, when I heard the first riff, and it's like I heard it for the first time. I heard it, to me, I can, for some reason, can't help but think of the song Voodoo off of the Mob Rules album, and for some reason it's got that sort of feeling to it. Like, the riff even itself is not technically similar, but it's just got that driving sort of style to it. It's such a hard rockin' heavy song. It's one of the best ones off of that album, actually. I really do. And the more as the song progresses, it seems to just get better. And then you got songs such as hopefully I'm saying it right, Zeitgeist or something, which very much is Planet Caravan Part 2. It's got that sort of atmosphere to it, even with the Ozzy's vocals. You know, the sort of effects on it, that effect or whatever, that kind of, you know what I'm talking about. Even the whole way the song plays out and everything, the drumming and such. It's like Planet Caravan off of Paranoid. Not a bad song. Definitely a, harkens back to that album. But there's other songs such as, oh geez, I think I know what, I have to relook. Damaged Soul. Very much a bluesy song. It very much harkens back to the first record. And there's even, I also noticed that there's some harmonica parts in there, which is definitely a cool addition to it. And again, it's got that, the first album with some of those, because it's just very bluesy, especially with some of the guitar solos as well. It's just, Not a bad song at all. Then you got Dear Father. Yeah, which one thing is, while it's definitely a cool song, the one thing that definitely again that harkens back to the first album is when the end of the song hits, the rain. You hear that raining, the heavy rain, and then the bell. Very much like the intro to the song Black Sabbath off the first album. Not a bad one. And then you got Live Forever, which was another cool one that I liked. You got definitely some good songs as well here and there. But once you get to the second disc, I think this is where the better, again, to me, this is where I think the album really does tend to actually pick them. And this, I'm including the second disc with this. The first song that starts off the second disc, Methodemic. Such an upbeat song. Just an upbeat song. And to me it also has like a sort of 80s sort of style with the sort of Dio era. And you got Peace of Mind, which also kind of has that as well. Another good song. Kind of almost goes back a bit to the first, Paranoid. But it's, again, pretty good. And there's some, maybe even a bit of Master of Reality. But definitely good as well. And then you got Pariah, which is a good one. Just a good way to end the second disc. Overall, this album really kind of just needs to adjust to the listener. We're talking about almost practically a 60 or 70 minute album, just including both discs. Honestly, this is not... Honestly, the album tends to have mixed reactions. Some say it's one of the weakest, some say it's one of the best. Some say it's like average, some say it's like, a good Black Sabbath album. I just say it's just a good Black Sabbath album, especially for Ozzy as well. Because I haven't been very much, very much getting into like some of the later Ozzy albums. I liked a little bit of Black Rain, but Scream I could just not get into. So honestly, with that album I kind of just blew Ozzy off as just an old has-been. But with this album, I think he kind of, he was able to at least bring some more out. And some of his vocal style, it's like, it's not like the 70s stuff. Especially the first album, he doesn't sound like how he did there. It's just for some reason with this album, he tends to sound, his vocal style seems to almost go back to his 80s stuff a bit. And just songs that I just can't help but think of Bark of the Moon. For some reason, when I just hear his vocal style, I just can't help think of that. I think it's just, he feels more energetic, more energized, actually, for some reason on this album. He just feels like he feels more alive. And for some reason, he just feels right at home with these with guys such as Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler. He feels right at home, more comfortable. While with some of his other, stuff like, with some of the recent Ozzy albums, it almost seems like he feels almost uncomfortable doing the stuff that he is. But with Black Sabbath, he just feels right at home. And I think, honestly, he, just my personal opinion, I think he probably should just stick with doing Black Sabbath, because, yeah, I know I heard that Tony Iommi might, saying that they might record their last album, but he just feels right at home with this, and not honestly though, not a bad album, and even without Bill Ward, I think the drummer who they have, let me look up his name. His name's in here. Sorry, but let's go in here. Shit. Okay. I might just cut this shit out. But here we go. Brad Wilk. I don't think he's... honestly, some of his drumming playing on this album is actually good. Not bad, really. I think he was a pretty good replacement for Bill Ward. And that's pretty much what I think of some of the albums. Like, everyone else just seems to be, you know, having comfortable. To me, though, I would say some of the weakest songs off this album kind of has to be End of the Beginning and God Is Dead. If those albums were those songs were probably around the middle of the album, somewhere around, you know, mixed in within, and have, like, you know, one of the other songs be the first started off, probably would be good. But for some reason, I kind of feel these two songs kind of bog the album down. I don't care for them. They're not bad songs. They're just, to me, that's like, again, you get past those two songs, the album just seems to just get better. And it just starts with Loner. That's just my personal opinion on this album. But to me, not a bad Black Sabbath disc. I would say for a comeback album, not really bad. The only thing, again, that bogs this album down is I think Rick Rubin cleaned up this album too much. It's like fucking crystal clear, and also he made it a bit too loud. For him making it too loud, and him, you know, cleaning up the audio so fucking much, it just sounds weird. It's a very weird production, but the riffs and everything else just saves it from being a total disaster. But that's how I think of the album. Not bad. And will it be a Black Sabbath album that I will go back to? Maybe. Maybe I might. Maybe I will go back to this album. Just, you know, give it for a few more listens. The more I listen to it, the more I start to adjust it. And I wish I gave it more listens back in 2013. But for some reason, I just blew it off as just a sort of an average album. But I guess I'm just getting older and actually more whatever. So that's pretty much it. I revisited Black Sabbath 13. Not a bad album at all. And I keep repeating that. So to end my shit. But like always, this is Heavy Thrash saying, I'm out.